Welcome to our program, Psychological Studies. Today, the 16th module, the last one of this series, entitled The Psychology of Gratitude. We start our reflections today based on the thought of William Shakespeare. Gratitude is the only treasure of the humble. And we carry on our reflections based on the book, The Psychology of Gratitude, by the spiritual benefactor, Joanna de Ângelis, when she starts saying, gratitude is the signature of God placed in His work. The psychology of gratitude must be experienced in all moments of bodily existence. Daughter of the psychological maturity enriches with peace and joy everyone who cultivates it. Among the noble feelings that characterize the mature psychological being, gratitude stands out as being one of the most relevant. We could even ask ourselves in this moment, where are we in terms of gratitude? Is it easy for us to be grateful? Is it challenging or not? When the process of emotional growth releases the spirit from the shadow in which it is stunned, it presents the light of truth, which is the discernment around the important values that integrate it into the harmonious concert of the cosmos. As more as we, through our journey of enlightenment, enlighten our own shadows, we are moving within this harmonious concert in the universe. Gratitude is always with respect to others, to existential phenomena, never to pride and presumption. Gratitude comes from the development of the emotional intelligence, never from the ego state of mind. The ungrateful, in the face of his emotional backwardness, complains about everything from climatic factors to human relationships. When the egoistic person points out the tragedies of everyday life, the aberrations that afflict society, only observes the wrong and negative side of the world, it is showing its unconscious memories, the vibrant negative feelings, without the courage to externalize them. The process of psychological maturation advances with the facility of expressing gratitude for all that has happened and everything that happens in relation to the human being. It is to develop the internal maturity where we become aware of understanding that all the experiences in our existences are tools and resources which are favoring our maturity, our psychological growth, our own enlightening process, as long as we choose and learn to connect with the essence of ourselves, which is love, and reintegrate eventual aspects of shadow. The feeling of gratitude must always be accompanied by the expectation of any form of retribution. Gratitude, once we conquer this ethical moral value, whatever good we do for us and others, there are no secondary gains, there are no secondary meanings that comes from a pure, genuine, internal, healthy aspect. We do good, we are learning to be generous for the sake of being good. There is no need for any validation on the external level onwards. Every act of generosity lacks gratification and manifests itself naturally. Love for children, spouses, duties towards them and others are of an intimate nature for each one, who are happy to proceed according to the proposal of well-being. Once we connect with the essence of ourselves and we train ourselves and be generous and be good towards ourselves and others, and feel the feedback that our inner wisdom, inner nature gives us, we freely choose to be generous, to be good, expecting nothing from others. Gratitude is the most subtle psychotherapy for the wrongs that are installed in society, constituted largely by sick spirits. We still are all sick beings, psychologically and emotionally speaking. We are all in the school earth in order to learn, to re-educate ourselves, and to promote us psychologically and emotionally. Becoming aware of our sick or shadow aspects and be willing in a free way to enlighten them. Gratitude must become a natural habit in the mature behavior of all human beings. In order for it to be achieved, it needs training, daily exercise, because of the shadows that promotes the conduct of distance, indifference, or even ingratitude. So in order for us to train gratitude, we need to become aware of our shadow aspect of ungratefulness, of indifference that we still may carry within us. And be freely willing now to make efforts in exercising gratitude in every moment, and in that way consolidating the new habits. The ungrateful, in addition to psychological immaturity, is the victim of envy, unhealthy competitivity, and evolutionary primarism. There is an ingrained habit in the human being to remember the failures, the bad times, the setbacks, the sadness and the aggression suffered, to the detriment of the many joys and blessings that are left on a secondary plane, in the panels of memory. This behavior produces a continuation of pessimism, complaint, soreness, and depression. Surely, if we insist in looking back in the experiences that we went through in a negative way, in a pessimistic way, in a depressive way, we are extending those negative elements in our hearts, in our minds. And only us can learn to overcome them. That ability we bring innate in our nature. A quick reflection would be enough to turn those sick events into a motive of gratitude. For irrespective of unpleasant occurrences, existence totally changed. We survived everything. Successes came. Enlightenment experiences took place. Gentle friendships succeeded. Positive, unexpected events happened. Gratitude, in this way, for all events, must always be the mental and emotional attitude of all human beings. We are all evolving, therefore, all the experiences are evolving. What in one stage has been perceived as negative, as sad, in another moment, with more inner wisdom, we can look back and address it from a healthy psychological perspective, understanding that those experiences were only experiences for us to learn. There is no one who is impermeable to love, to a gesture of kindness, to sincere gratitude. Gratitude is in the home annuls egoic individualism, preserving the individuality that will attain individuation. We are all in the journey of our individuation. Individualism is nothing to do with individuality. Individualism comes from the ego state of mind. Individuality is developing our unique, healthy way of being in the universe. The interests of human groups are very varied, generating constant friction and variance in the area of emotionality, which requires self-control, discipline of the will, and a spirit of peace in order not to interfere with ethical values, the moral and objective meanings of existence, letting itself be swept away by the flood of conflicts. Social gratitude is the response of the happy heart to the excellent opportunities that are enjoyed throughout our earthly existence, our earthly experiences. Through this conduct, the unhealthy competitions between individuals and groups, intrigues and malcontents, hatreds and morbid resentments are tempered. The pursuit of transformation for the better at every instant is the lowered time and gratitude to life that is experienced in consonance with the cosmic harmony. We are all interconnected in the universe. So let's choose to become more generous so that we contribute in a harmonic way in the society, in the group, in the community where we are part of. Every normal individual has some basic conflicts such as security and insecurity, love and hate, fear and courage, acceptance and rejection, joy and sadness. When one of them is overcome, the prospects for the conquest of the other appear in a continuous effort of self-improvement. We are constantly actualizing ourselves throughout times. The feeling of gratitude has a psychological nature and immediately triggers the trigger, being transformed into emotion and organic sensation. This is so important for us to be aware of our sensations, to be aware of our emotions, to learn to be in control of them. The one who is grateful, who knows how to recognize his own smallness before the greatness of life, makes himself or herself full and happy, or full and joyful. No conquest takes place without the contribution of effort, temperance, constancy, sacrifice. No one will shift on internal habits without sacrificing the egoistic habits, the egoistic tendencies, without putting effort into training ourselves on a daily basis in holding us on the real values of life. In this case here today, learning to be generous means learning to be loving, learning to be grateful, exercising it in every moment of our existences. The restlessness of one moment, carefully examined and well-directed, results in the peace of another moment. It is necessary for each being to discover the responsibility of being himself or being herself as a human person carrying values that must be multiplied and experienced as paradigms of enlightenment meaning. What are the meanings of our existence, of our lives? Are they durable or temporary? The grateful men and women are decisive elements in the structure of society, which is most valued and enhanced when it is composed of beings that dignify the very condition of humanity. Education based on principles of dignity establishes gratitude as a standard of healthy conduct, without which it becomes difficult, if not impossible, to structure a balanced human society. Which are our references of education? Do we think about it? Because in society these days we still have references which are quite ingrained in selfishness. And these will not help to build harmony within, neither without the society where we are living. Education means to educate our hearts and minds within the ethical moral values of life, values that are good for us and others today, and values that are good for us and others tomorrow in the future. Human dignity is the tranquil, moralized and emotional step that the self achieves after surpassing the shadow, hallowed its elements in the psychology of Jesus, who reserved the dominant ethical standards in his time, elaborating new proposals of integration in the cosmic thought. Let's think about it. Evil does not affect good, which is the antidote to it. In that way, as we are reflecting about gratitude, as more as we develop goodness within, as more as we activate the ethical values within, as more as we learn to be generous, dignified, good beings, more we are protecting us from eventual evil movements that may come towards us. We internally are free to always connect with the goodness that lies within each and every one of us. Persevering in the correct conduct, even when outraged or disregarded, becomes the challenge of moral health in social behavior in order to change it, working for a new mentality that is to be established among everyone in the future. Let's engage in develop the new mentality in a more harmonic society for the future which starts today, learning to be more generous, grateful, thankful. When love expands, forgiveness becomes a natural phenomenon, for by spreading affectivity, it overcomes any limit imposed by conventions to become an ocean of generosity. If each single individual chooses to become more generous, to expand generosity within their hearts and minds, we are affecting each other in a positive, constructive way, therefore contributing for a more generous society. As Jung said, that every advance, even the smallest, through this path of conscious realization, adds much to the world. Let's cooperate to build a better world for us and for others. A world where we can live amongst each other in a fraternal, solidarious way, cooperating with each other and benefiting from this healthy movement The perfect identification of conflicts has allowed us to always aspire for the acquisition of the good and the beauty as goals of health and well-being. When the human being realizes that he or she needs to abandon the less harmonic levels through which he or she journeys, will aspire to the conquest of individuation, exercising himself or herself in the sublime art of love for God, for the neighbor, for himself or herself, abandoning egotism and experiencing altruism as a safe form of full realization towards gratitude. Let's exercise gratitude with everyone, everywhere, today and always. We bring that sacred divine value within ourselves. It is innate already. It is just awaiting for us to stimulate it. And we all can do that as long as we choose. Let's start today to learn to be more generous, to learn to develop generosity, to learn to be grateful for everything and everyone. And as we are coming to the end of our module today, and this series, Psychological Studies, we take this opportunity to express our gratitude for everything and everyone who has been part in this journey of reflections about ourselves as immortal beings, beings who are essentially of love, of peace and light. Our gratitude for all of you who have been part, for life in itself, for all the experiences that we are experiencing. Our gratitude for all of those who are part in our existence. Our gratitude towards God, the creator of everything and everyone, who created us with love in order for us to learn to love as beings of love as we all are. Much love to all.